The city was painted in gold that morning, sunlight pouring between skyscrapers, limousines rushing down broad avenues, and the world bowing to the name Alexander Reed, one of the most powerful CEOs in the country. He was the kind of man whose presence could silence a room. Every click of his Italian shoes echoed authority. Every look he gave could make people tremble. Yet at home, in the grand mansion built atop the hills, he was simply Daddy, at least to one little girl who saw beyond the suits and meetings. His 7-year-old daughter, Lily. Lily was everything Alexander wasn't, soft-spoken, kind and pure-hearted. Her laughter filled rooms he forgot existed. Since her mother's passing years ago, she had been the only light left in his life. Alexander had buried his grief in work, building empires, acquiring companies, and turning his heart to stone. The only thing that could melt it was Lily's smile. It was a week before her 8th birthday, and the mansion was buzzing with preparations. Event planners walked around with tablets. Decorators hung pastel balloons, and chefs prepared sample cakes taller than Lily herself. Yet amid all that glamour, the little girl stood by her bedroom window, her chin resting on her hands, staring at the garden below, where a woman and her daughter were trimming the roses. The gardener's daughter, Mia, was around Lily's age. Her clothes were old, her shoes worn, but her smile was as bright as sunlight. Lily watched as Mia helped her mother pick up tools, humming a soft tune. Something about her innocence drew Lily in. She didn't care about wealth or dresses. She just wanted a friend. Later that afternoon, as Alexander walked into his study to review a contract, Lily ran in holding her little teddy bear. "Daddy!" she called, jumping into his lap before he could respond. "Yes, sweetheart," he said, softening instantly at her presence. "I want to invite someone to my birthday," she said eagerly. "Of course," he replied, half distracted, scanning his emails. "We'll invite all your classmates like last year." "No," she said firmly, tugging his sleeve. "I want to invite Mia. She's the gardener's daughter. Can she come to my birthday?" Alexander froze. The words hit him differently. He looked down at his daughter's big brown eyes, eyes that mirrored her late mother's warmth. "Sweetheart," he began carefully, "her family works for us. It might make her uncomfortable." "No, Daddy," Lily pouted. "She's nice. She's funny. She helped me pick flowers yesterday. Please, Daddy, can she come, please?" He sighed deeply, torn between corporate pride and fatherly love. "We'll see, Lily." That was all she needed. She hugged him tight. "You're the best, Daddy." The next day, while inspecting the garden, Alexander saw Mia and her mother again. He noticed the faint tremble in the woman's hands as she held the shears. She looked nervous when he approached. The aura of a powerful man was intimidating, even when he smiled. "Mia," he said calmly, "Lily tells me you're friends." The little girl nodded shyly. "She wants you to come to her birthday party," he continued. Mia's eyes widened. "Me? But we don't have nice clothes." "I don't think—" Her mother quickly interrupted. "Sir, that's very kind, but we couldn't possibly—" "It's an invitation," Alexander said firmly. "Lily insists. You'll be our guest." That evening, Mia told her mother she'd never been to a party before. "Mommy, do you think they'll like me?" she asked as they walked home through narrow streets. Her mother smiled through tired eyes. "Sweetheart, if that little girl likes you, then that's enough." When the big day arrived, the mansion glowed with lights and laughter. Cars lined the driveway, filled with wealthy parents and children dressed in designer outfits. But among them, one small figure stood out, Mia, wearing a simple white dress her mother had mended the night before, holding a tiny gift wrapped in recycled paper. Lily ran across the room, shouting, "Mia! You came!" The two hugged like they'd known each other forever. But as they laughed and played, whispers began to circle among the guests. "Who's that girl?" one woman muttered. "Probably one of the staff's kids," another sneered. Alexander overheard, his face tightening. He was used to judgment, but hearing it directed at an innocent child made something stir inside him. He watched as Lily proudly introduced Mia to everyone, ignoring their looks. When it came time to cut the cake, Lily stood beside Mia and whispered, "You're my best friend." Mia smiled, eyes glistening. "You're mine too." The moment was pure, untouched by wealth or status. But later, as the guests were leaving, tragedy nearly struck. One of the caterers accidentally spilled a tray near the staircase. Lily, running toward her father, slipped on the spilled juice and lost her balance. The crowd gasped, but before she hit the ground, Mia lunged forward and caught her hand, steadying her. The tray shattered, but the girl saved Lily from falling. Alexander rushed forward, kneeling beside them. "Lily, are you okay?" "I'm fine, Daddy." "Mia saved me." The CEO turned to the little girl, speechless. His hands trembled slightly as he realized how close he'd come to losing the one thing that mattered most. He looked into Mia's wide, frightened eyes, the eyes of a child who had just risked everything out of love. That night, after everyone left, Alexander sat alone in his study, replaying the moment. His daughter was asleep upstairs, clutching a teddy bear and whispering Mia's name. He looked at the untouched champagne on his desk and sighed. For the first time in years, he didn't feel like a king. He felt small, humbled by a child who had nothing but a heart full of courage. He made a decision then, one that would change, more than just his daughter's life. A week passed since the birthday party, but Alexander couldn't stop thinking about Mia and her mother. He'd learned. They lived in a small one-room apartment on the edge of the city. The mother, Elena, worked tirelessly as a gardener, widow to a man who'd died in an accident at one of Alexander's old construction sites. That detail broke something inside him. The guilt hit harder than he expected. The next morning, he called his assistant, find out everything about Elena and her daughter, and transfer her to work at the main estate. "I want her compensated fairly." Meanwhile, Lily insisted on seeing Mia again. "Daddy, can she come play today?" She'd ask every morning at breakfast. Her father finally agreed and sent the car to pick Mia up. When the little girl arrived, she looked nervous, walking through marble halls again, clutching a small homemade bracelet in her hand. "I made this for Lily," she said softly. Alexander smiled for the first time in a long while. "She'll love it." As the girls played in the garden, Alexander stood by the window, watching. His mind wandered back to his late wife, who used to tell him one day, "Teach Lily that kindness is more powerful than wealth." He had forgotten that lesson. But now, two little girls were teaching it back to him. Days turned into weeks, and soon the bond between the families deepened. Elena worked closely with Alexander now, not just as an employee, but as someone he trusted. He noticed her quiet strength, the same resilience that had kept her daughter brave. The more he saw them together, the more he felt something thaw inside him, something that had been frozen since the day he buried his wife. One evening, as he watched Lily and Mia chase butterflies in the sunset, he turned to Elena and said softly, "You've raised a remarkable girl." Elena smiled humbly. "She just learned to see light, even when we had none." Alexander's voice lowered. "Maybe that's what I've been missing, seeing the light in simple things." That night, Lily ran up to him with excitement. "Daddy, I want to do something special for Mia." "What do you have in mind, Princess?" "I want to give her a birthday too." "She never had one." He paused, heart swelling. "Then we'll make it happen." The following weekend, the mansion transformed again, not for a CEO's daughter, but for the gardener's child. No guests in suits, no reporters, no decorations worth thousands, just warmth, laughter and genuine love. Alexander arranged everything quietly, letting Lily take charge. When Mia walked in and saw the cake with her name on it, she burst into tears. "For me?" she whispered. Lily nodded proudly. "Now it's your turn to make a wish." Mia closed her eyes, holding her tiny hands together. "I wish we could stay friends forever." Alexander felt a lump in his throat. He didn't know when he last heard something so sincere. After the party, he asked Elena and Mia to stay for dinner. Over the meal, Lily's laughter filled the room like music. For the first time, Alexander didn't feel the weight of the world on his shoulders. He felt peace.